What is up, guys, and welcome to the General Nazgrim Raid Guide. As always, this guide is going to be covering all the normal mode abilities that you need to understand going into this fight. The abilities will be scrolling above my head as always, so if you want to take a look at those or go ahead and pause them and read through them, feel free. But other than that, let's get right into this one. This is pretty much a one-phase fight, but because you're playing a warrior, you're going to have a couple different stances that you have to deal with that kind of depend on how you handle the fight. Okay, so let's first off get into stances. So General Nazgrim can be in three stances: battle, berserk, defensive. Okay, pretty much the rule of thumb that you want to know is in battle stance, he's taking a lot more damage. In defensive stance, you don't want to damage him. He's taking 25% less damage and he gains rage much faster. So you do not want to have him in defensive stance while, DPSing him. Like as soon as he gets into defensive stance, stop DPSing him at all. The next thing that you need to understand is there's ads, okay? And these ads need to be killed. They are priority over the boss. Now, there are some ads that are more important than others, but let's just go over them very quickly, okay? The most important one is the War Shaman. War Shamans will have a chain heal that they can cast, and that needs to be interrupted. If that cast gets off, you're just wasting tons of DPS and tons of time re-killing that mob. So make sure that you're interrupting chain heal, and also that you're dispelling Earth Shield. That's also extremely important. You have to dispel Earth Shield. Also make sure that these shaman are away from Nazgrim. If you have a Death Knight who can grip them out, just in case, because if he drops a totem there, or if he gets that chain heal off, you do not want Nazgrim getting healed. You will be wiping the fight if that happens. There is Arc Weavers. Arc Weavers, you just need to really stun them. They do have a cast, and as the cast keeps going, the more and more casts that go off, the higher and higher the damage is. So Arc Weavers do need to be killed in a pretty high priority. But there's also Assassins. Now what Assassins do is you will be targeted, you will have an icon, but if they attack you from behind, so if they get behind you, they will backstab you, pretty much one-shotting you, and they fixate on random players. So what you need to do is, as soon as you get that mark, try to find out where the assassin is on the screen. Make sure that you're kiting him around, that you're not getting hit by him until your DPS can get him down. That's really the best way to do it. There's also Iron Blades, and they just pretty much do Blade Storm, so you just want to tank them away from the group. They're not a huge kill priority. They're pretty much what you do during defensive stances. You finish cleaning up all of those guys. You can obviously dot them up and kill them, and they will go down slowly, especially in normal mode if you have some good gear. They're not a huge pain in the butt, but you do need to be aware of what they do. So make sure when you see the Iron Blades that they're out of the raid. They're not stacked up in there with melee or with the boss. That they're just being tanked out and alone, so that the Blade Storm's only hitting the tank. As far as the boss goes, how he works is he always uses his most rage. He uses his highest rage ability that he can use, okay? And he gains rage throughout the fights from, hitting people with things, from hitting the tanks with their debuffs that they're getting. Tanks, you do need to be aware of how Sundering Armor works in this fight and how he can lower your health as a tank. So you do need to be aware, tanks, of what those abilities do and how you can best counter those abilities. Avoidance tanks are great for this fight, so be aware of that as well. But back to his abilities, he has 4 abilities. He has Shockwave, Banner, War Song, and then the Spinny Axe of Doom. And what happens is, at a certain rage point, he can cast these spells. He will always cast the one that he can cast that has the highest rage cost. So going over the abilities very quickly, the Spinny Axe of Doom, if he has enough rage to cast the Spinny Axe of Doom, it will be in the room and it will fly around and it will spin, and if you get hit by it, it's annoying, it does damage, it interrupts you. Like, you just don't want to get hit by the Spinning Axe of Doom. It's bad. War Song is, again, when he casts War Song, it's a raid cooldown, so be aware of when he gets up towards that 75 energy. If he can cast War Song, it's going to hurt your raid. So, tanks, watch out for it. Healers, watch out for it. Make sure you have a CD ready. Make sure that you know when that's going to come out so that you can properly prepare. Banners. Banners are your #1 priority in this fight. When you see a banner go down, you switch to it immediately, no questions asked. While that banner is down, all ads hit. They hit a lot harder, and he gains rage quicker, so you do need to be aware of that. And then he also has his Shockwave ability, where he will leap at a random target, and then you will see lines of pretty much kind of cloudy fire going out. You need to get out of those lines, as that will hit you and do a lot of raid damage, and it's really it's so much avoidable damage that your healers need their mana, especially going into the last phase of this fight with everything going on. This fight is one of those fights that as it goes on, it gets more and more hectic. So be aware of those abilities. So going over it again, kill shamans, kill banners, clean up your ads. Do not DPS him in defensive stance, at all. Be aware of his abilities like Shockwave, Banner, Warsong, and Axe. Kill the ads. You can kill this fight. GG. Hope you guys like this one, and as always, we'll see you in the next one. Remember that in the end of the video, I did add our opener from the start of when we had all the ads out due to some Warlock. I don't know what his name is, but he was really pushing me, so I hope you guys enjoy the beginning part 2. Keep that in mind as well, so make sure you check that out. See you in the next one.